If you want an executive saloon, then chances are you'll buy an Audi, a BMW or a Mercedes. About 80% of people in that position do. However, if you're one of that 20% of people who doesn't want the same generic German executive express that everybody else drives, then what are your options? Well, you've got Jaguar, you've got Volvo, and you've got Lexus. Now, in other foreign markets like North America, Lexus actually has two offerings in this segment. The GS, which is deemed to be the sporty one, and the ES, which concentrates more on comfort and quietness. Up until now in the UK, we've only been offered the GS, which, if we're honest, never really lived up to all its sporting promises, and sales reflected that. Now, however, Lexus has replaced it with the ES. So can this car strike any more of a chord with UK buyers? We've come to Malaga in Spain to find out. Step inside and you'll find a cabin that's very, well, Lexus-y. The build quality is rock solid and the materials feel pretty plush, so it does feel like quite a classy environment. However, the ergonomics are somewhat less impressive. There are loads of really small, similar looking switches dotted about the place, and the infotainment system isn't the most intuitive of its sort either. The fact that you navigate it with a mousepad style controller also means that it's pretty distracting to use on the move. The rear seats have loads of legroom, but headroom will be a little bit tight for anyone much over 6 feet tall. And while the boot is a reasonable size, the rear seats are fixed, so you can't boost cargo space when you need to. Get the car out on the road and you'll instantly notice that comfort orientated character we were talking about. It's wafty, it's cosseting, so life stays impressively civilized. However, we should temper that praise by saying that the roads here in this part of Spain are absolutely immaculate, which your average British B road really isn't. So how it deals with bumpier surfaces is still a little bit of an unknown quantity. The handling isn't as impressive as the ride either. It feels big and heavy and cumbersome and roly-poly when you're trying to string a set of bends together. However, it does feel very secure, and the steering is a real high point because it's got a nice hefty weight to it and it's really responsive. The F-Sport model we've got here, meanwhile, has an adaptive suspension as standard that's optional on the other cars in the range, and it hunkers everything down and makes things firmer and sportier when you select the appropriate driving mode. If we're honest though, it doesn't really add much to either the ride or the handling, and for that reason, we don't really see it as a must-have. All ESs have hybrid power, bringing together a 2.5 litre petrol engine and an electric motor to deliver 215 horsepower. Performance is modest, but your progress is reasonably smooth and quiet. With a lot of hybrids, you only have to breathe on the accelerator pedal to send the revs shooting sky high, and you get a whole lot of noise for not a lot of performance. This is rather better though. Yeah, it doesn't take a massive amount of pressure on the throttle pedal for the revs to start climbing, but the noise that the engine makes is kept very distant, and at least there's some resemblance between the work rate of the engine and your rate of acceleration. So provided it rides okay in the UK, we reckon the ES could be an interesting alternative, not to mention a more affordable and better equipped alternative to the German saloons that everybody else drives. The efficient hybrid drivetrain also brings with it a few tax advantages that can make this car quite a compelling proposition from a cost of ownership point of view, especially if you're a company car driver, which many customers will be. So if you're on the lookout for your next fleet car and you're one of those people who likes to plough your own furrow in life, then the ES is definitely worth a look.